Have you ever done something so reckless that you knew it could destroy everything you love, but you did it anyway? That's where I was, staring at my reflection, wondering how a seemingly perfect life could unravel with a single secret. On the surface, everything looked ideal. Laughter-filled weekends, whispered plans for the future, and a partner who trusted me completely. But beneath the smiles, I was hiding something dangerous. A secret that wasn't just a mistake, but a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. It started innocently, a fleeting glance, a playful message, a spark that felt harmless at first. I told myself it was nothing, that I could control it. But every secret has a way of growing, twisting into something unrecognizable, and I was about to find out just how far it could go. Even now, I can feel the weight of it pressing down, the guilt, the fear, and the strange, addictive thrill of secrecy. And before you judge, hit that subscribe button. You're about to follow a story full of betrayal, suspense, and secrets you won't believe. And just when I thought I had it all under control, I realized the danger wasn't the flirtation. It was what I was hiding behind it. It started as a harmless flirt, a single text that made my heart race. But I knew the moment it happened that I was crossing a line. The thrill was intoxicating, a mix of excitement and fear that made me feel alive and guilty all at once. I justified it in my mind: stress at work, feeling unnoticed, curiosity, anything to quiet the voice that told me I was betraying someone I loved. But deep down, I knew it wasn't harmless. One secret message had opened the door to a world I couldn't control. Then came the first warning. A friend noticed my distracted behavior, the subtle change in my mood. Their innocent question, "Are you okay?" sent a cold wave of panic through me. What if someone else started connecting the dots? The double life I thought I could manage was beginning to crack. And just when I thought I had contained the slip, a small notification appeared. A line from the person I was seeing. My stomach dropped. Someone might have noticed, and the thrill I had been chasing was now tangled with fear, guilt, and the dangerous knowledge that one wrong move could ruin everything. It began with harmless texts, or so I told myself, but soon the messages multiplied. Late-night chats, flirty emojis, personal confessions that made my pulse race. Each notification was both a thrill and a reminder of the secret I was desperately trying to protect. I became hyper-aware of every glance my partner threw at my phone. I deleted messages, rearranged conversations, and invented excuses for the simplest things. The adrenaline of hiding something so dangerous was addictive, but it came with an ever-growing weight of fear. Then came the first real shock, a message that went beyond flirting, revealing thoughts and feelings I hadn't expected. I realized I was no longer just hiding a secret. I was entangled in an emotional trap that could spiral out of control. The tension escalated when a friend made a casual remark about my distracted behavior. Was someone noticing the signs I thought were invisible? Panic mixed with the thrill of secrecy, and I understood that the game I was playing wasn't just dangerous, it was unstoppable. And just as I thought I had it contained, another message appeared, hinting at an unexpected twist I hadn't planned. My secret wasn't just mine anymore. It was growing beyond my control. I had mastered the art of living two lives. By day, I was the devoted partner, sharing laughter, making plans, and appearing completely present. By night, I was someone entirely different. Texting, meeting secretly, hiding moments that could destroy everything if uncovered. The thrill was intoxicating, but so was the fear. Every interaction became a careful performance. I smiled, laughed, and acted normal, all while my heart pounded with guilt and paranoia. The double life was exhausting, yet I couldn't stop. Each day felt like walking a tightrope over a pit I could barely see. The danger escalated when a close friend noticed my distracted behavior. Their pointed questions, though innocent, made my stomach twist. I realized the walls around my secret were fragile, and one misstep could unravel months of careful deception. Then came the micro twist. A misdirected message almost exposed me. a fleeting glimpse of the hidden world I was trying to protect. For the first time, I understood that this double life wasn't just thrilling, it was a ticking time bomb, and I had no idea when it would explode. It happened on a seemingly ordinary evening. I was texting, careful as always, when my partner suddenly appeared behind me. My heart leapt into my throat. My phone slipped slightly and panic surged as I fumbled to hide the screen. For a tense moment, I froze. Every instinct screamed at me to stay calm, but my pulse thumped wildly, threatening to betray me. My partner asked a casual question, and I forced a laugh, praying that my trembling hands and quickened breath didn't give me away. After they left, I sank onto the couch, shaken. One careless moment, and everything I had hidden, the messages, the lies, the secret meetings, could have been exposed. The adrenaline was terrifying, yet there was an addictive rush in narrowly escaping detection. And then came the micro-twist. A message from the person I was seeing blinked on my phone, reminding me that I wasn't just hiding from my partner anymore. The danger had escalated, and I realized that one wrong move could unravel everything I had carefully built. The first lie felt small, almost harmless, but I knew it was the beginning of something I couldn't turn back from. The relief was immediate, but so was the dread. I had to remember every detail, keep the story consistent, and maintain the fragile illusion I had created. Every interaction became a calculated performance, every word measured to prevent suspicion. The tension grew unbearable. I flinched at phone notifications, invented reasons for unexpected calls, and even changed routines to avoid raising questions. My secret demanded constant vigilance, and the weight of it was crushing. Then came the first real test. A friend asked a simple question that my lie couldn't fully cover. My heart raced as I scrambled for a response, realizing for the first time that lying wasn't just a way to hide. It was a trap of its own, one I was already falling into. The thrill of secrecy had become a dangerous addiction. What started as a fleeting temptation had grown into something I couldn't control. Every hidden meeting, every secret message, every stolen moment added fuel to a fire I didn't want to extinguish. The tension with my partner grew unbearable. They noticed my distracted glances, unexplained absences, and subtle inconsistencies in my stories. I was constantly on edge, calculating every word, every movement, terrified that one slip would reveal the truth. The emotional stakes were higher than ever. The affair wasn't just physical anymore. It was emotional, pulling me deeper into a web I couldn't untangle. I told myself I could manage it, that I could keep my lives separate, but deep down I knew I was losing control. Then came the micro-twist. A message meant for only one set of eyes ended up in the wrong chat. My heart stopped. The carefully built walls around my secret were crumbling, and I realized that what I was hiding wasn't just a small mistake anymore. It was a storm, ready to explode. The secret had grown beyond texts and meetings. Small gifts, photos and notes, all carefully hidden, became tangible evidence of my double life. Every time I tucked something away, relief and fear wrestled inside me. One misstep and it could all be exposed. I became obsessed with control. Locks were checked twice, files deleted, items rearranged. Every detail mattered. Even the smallest overlooked scrap could trigger a domino effect of discovery. The paranoia was suffocating, yet I couldn't stop. The first real scare came while cleaning. An envelope slipped between books, almost discovered by my partner. My pulse raced as I snatched it away just in time. Panic lingered long after. I realized this wasn't just a secret anymore. It was a constant battle for survival. Then came the micro-twist. A tiny notification suggested someone else might know a fragment of the truth. I wasn't just hiding from my partner anymore. Other eyes were watching, waiting for a slip. And the web of deception I had built was more fragile than I'd imagined. It happened when I least expected it. My partner's eyes narrowed slightly, their calm voice edged with suspicion. "Why do you seem so distant lately?" they asked, and suddenly the walls around my secret felt thin and fragile. I scrambled for excuses, blaming stress at work, fatigue, or minor worries. I forced a laugh, masking the panic clawing at my chest. Every gesture, every word was scrutinized, and I realized how close I was to being exposed. This was the first real confrontation, not the final revelation, but a test of my composure. The weight of my deception pressed down, making even ordinary conversation feel like a battlefield. I smiled, laughed, and acted normal, but inside, fear was roaring. Then came the mini twist. A careless phrase slipped out, one that lingered longer than intended. My partner didn't call me out, but suspicion was planted. The truth was closer than I imagined, and one misstep could shatter the illusion I had spent months carefully constructing. The days that followed were unbearable. Every laugh, every touch with my partner felt like a lie. Guilt shadowed every moment, gnawing at me relentlessly, and sleep offered no escape. I replayed every hidden message, every secret meeting, and every small betrayal over and over in my mind. I began to question myself. Who had I become? The reflection staring back at me was a stranger, a mix of desire, deception, and fear. The psychological weight was crushing. I couldn't relax, couldn't enjoy even the simplest moments, haunted by the knowledge of what I had done. Even casual interactions felt loaded with tension. Each gesture reminded me of the betrayal, each smile weighed down by secrets. I longed for my partner's trust, but realized I was actively eroding it every day. Then came a reckless decision. I reached out one more time, craving the thrill despite knowing the risk. In that instant, guilt spiraled into terror. I understood that my actions had consequences far beyond what I had imagined, and that the web I had woven was growing too tangled to control. Just when I thought I had reached the limits of my deception, another layer emerged, one I hadn't anticipated. The affair had grown beyond fleeting moments or secret messages. It had become emotional, pulling me deeper into a situation I could no longer control. I discovered it through a message I wasn't meant to see, a confession that revealed feelings and attachments far beyond my expectations. Suddenly, I wasn't just hiding from my partner. I was entangled in a web with consequences I hadn't foreseen. Fear and excitement collided inside me. The stakes had skyrocketed. This wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about managing a situation spiraling beyond my control. I realized I wasn't the puppet master. I was being pulled along by a force I had helped create. Then came the micro twist. Someone else, a friend or acquaintance, glimpsed a fragment of the truth. They didn't know the full story, but that hint was enough to make me realize that my secret life was no longer mine alone. The game had changed, and I was dangerously close to losing control. I had always believed I was the only one carrying this secret, but I was wrong. A friend, someone I trusted, had seen a fragment of my double life. It was small, almost meaningless on its own, yet it sent a cold wave of panic through me. My secret was no longer mine alone. Every interaction with this friend became tense. Their subtle glances, the way they lingered on certain topics, it all hinted that they knew something. I smiled, laughed, and acted normal, but inside, fear and paranoia gnawed at me. The psychological pressure intensified. What if they told my partner? What if they misinterpreted something and caused a chain reaction I couldn't control? Every word now carried the weight of potential exposure, and the walls around my carefully hidden life were thinning. Then came the mini twist. A cryptic comment, casual yet loaded with meaning, reminded me that my secret was spreading beyond my control. I wasn't just hiding from my partner anymore. Others had pieces of the puzzle, and one misstep could bring the whole house of cards crashing down. It was the closest call yet. My partner almost stumbled upon something that could expose everything. The hidden messages, secret gifts, the tangled web I had been desperately guarding. My heart pounded and panic surged like a tidal wave. Every instinct screamed at me to act fast. Hands trembling, I snatched the evidence just in time, praying that the smallest slip wouldn't ruin months of careful deception. The adrenaline was terrifying, yet in a twisted way, It was addictive. I replayed the near miss repeatedly, analyzing every choice, every movement. How had I almost been caught? Could I have prevented it? The walls of my secret world felt thinner than ever, and each glance from my partner became a potential threat. Then, just when I thought I had escaped, a tiny clue slipped through. A misdirected glance, an accidental notification that reminded me nothing was truly safe. I was teetering on the edge, and one careless moment could ignite a chain reaction that would destroy everything I had fought to keep hidden. The first small lie had grown into something much bigger, a story I had to construct perfectly to cover months of deceit. It wasn't just an excuse anymore. It was a narrative that demanded flawless timing, memory, and composure. One misstep and everything would collapse. The weight was suffocating. Every word, every gesture, every interaction depended on this lie holding. I rehearsed it constantly, repeating it in my mind until it sounded natural, all while guilt gnawed at my conscience. The stakes were higher than ever. Even the simplest interactions became high-pressure tests. A forced laugh, a glance that lingered too long, every detail could unravel the illusion I had spent so long creating. Then came the mini twist. Subtle signs that my partner was beginning to notice.
Inconsistencies. They hadn't confronted me yet, but suspicion was growing. I realized my ultimate escape was fragile, and one wrong move could shatter the fragile world I had painstakingly built. I had believed my secret affected only me and my partner, but the fallout began to touch everyone around me. Friends noticed my distracted behavior, coworkers sensed my tension, and even family members were subtly affected by the storm I was hiding. One evening, a close friend confronted me, not about my partner, but about my erratic mood and distance. Their disappointment cut deeper than I expected. I realized that my deception had consequences beyond what I imagined. Every lie had left invisible cracks in the lives of those I cared about. The psychological weight intensified. Every hidden message, every secret meeting, every lie created ripples I couldn't control. I was trapped in a maze of my own making, and turning back without causing more pain seemed impossible. Then came the micro twist. An innocent party unknowingly uncovered a fragment of the secret. They didn't see the full story, but it was enough to add another layer of tension. The web I had woven was expanding, and I couldn't predict where the fallout would strike next. By now, my partner's intuition had sharpened. The casual glances, subtle questions, and tiny inconsistencies all added up. I could feel the walls closing in, the tension in our home thick and suffocating. Every word I spoke, every gesture I made was under scrutiny. The psychological pressure was relentless. I couldn't relax, not for a second. Even ordinary interactions felt like high-stakes tests. A forced laugh, a glance that lingered too long. Each one threatened to expose me. Then came a tiny clue that shook me. My partner noticed something out of place, a detail I hadn't expected them to catch. It wasn't proof, but it whispered suspicion, and I knew the careful control I had maintained for months was slipping. Panic mixed with desperation. I had to stay one step ahead, but every step felt shakier than the last. My secret, once manageable, was now controlling me. One misstep, one overlooked detail could ignite a chain reaction that would destroy everything. I could feel my carefully constructed world teetering on the edge, ready to collapse at any moment. I faced the choice I had been avoiding for months. Confess everything and risk losing the person I loved, or continue hiding and watch the walls of my life crumble. Each option felt terrifying, and every instinct screamed self-preservation. The psychological pressure was suffocating. I replayed every decision, every lie, every stolen moment, wondering how I had let it escalate this far. I realized that no matter what I chose, someone would be hurt, perhaps irreparably. Then came the cliffhanger, a sudden, pointed question from my partner, cutting through the tension like a blade. Their eyes searched mine, demanding the truth I wasn't ready to give. In that instant, I understood with chilling clarity that the reckoning was inevitable, and there was no escaping it. It happened faster than I ever imagined. One careless slip,
One overlooked message, and my partner uncovered the full extent of my betrayal. Texts, photos, hidden meetings, everything I had worked so hard to conceal was now exposed. The room felt like it was closing in. I saw the shock in their eyes, the hurt, the disbelief. Words failed me. There was nothing I could say to undo the damage. My carefully hidden life had exploded into reality, leaving me to face the consequences. The psychological weight was unbearable. Every lie, every hidden moment, every stolen smile loomed larger than ever. I had underestimated the impact of my actions, and the fallout was immediate. Trust, once taken for granted, had been shattered. And then came the final micro twist. One last secret, the one I hadn't intended to reveal, surfaced in that moment. The full scope of my deception hit like a tidal wave, leaving both of us reeling and reminding me that some secrets, once exposed, can change everything forever. The aftermath was brutal. Silence hung heavy, broken only by occasional tremors of anger, disbelief, and heartbreak. My partner withdrew, eyes filled with hurt that words could never fully repair. Every shared memory now carried the shadow of my betrayal. I was left to face my own guilt, a relentless storm with no reprieve. Sleep became impossible, meals tasteless, and even the simplest moments were haunted by regret. Friends and family, once trusting, now viewed me with caution and doubt. I realized my actions had consequences far beyond what I had imagined. Yet amidst the devastation, a strange clarity emerged. I saw the patterns, the selfish choices, and the decisions that led me here. I understood the fragility of trust and the irreversible nature of betrayal. Then came one last, subtle twist. A hidden detail of the secret I thought was contained surfaced unexpectedly. It reminded me that no matter how much I wished to undo it, the truth had fully emerged, leaving a permanent mark on both our lives. The moment of reckoning arrived in full force. My partner confronted me with every piece of evidence, every lie, every hidden moment I had tried desperately to protect. The air was thick with anger, betrayal, and disbelief. There was nowhere left to hide. Words tumbled out in a chaotic confession, the truth spilling uncontrollably. I apologized, explained, begged, but nothing could erase the damage. My double life had collapsed, leaving the relationship in ruins. The emotional fallout was immediate and overwhelming. Then came the final twist, more shocking than I had imagined. One hidden detail I thought was safe surfaced, altering everything about how I believed this story would end. It was irreversible, undeniable, and left both of us reeling in disbelief. In that moment, I understood the full weight of my choices.
Trust, once broken, might never return, and some secrets, once revealed, can change everything forever. If this story captivated you, make sure to subscribe. You won't want to miss the next tale of betrayal, secrets, and shocking consequences.